I am thrilled to be part of this celebration of the San Jordi festival. I remember many years ago spending a blissful day in Barcelona celebrating books. I think it was third week of April. What a great, great festival it is. And Marianne Newman, thank you so much for including me. You've asked me to choose a passage, and of course, because I'm unruly, I'm choosing two passages in translation. One of them by Etgar Keret, the very first passage of his magnificent book, The Girl on the Fridge. It's called Asthma Attack. And the second one by Thomas Bernhard in my favorite book of his called Concrete. And I will read each one of them and then maybe say a few words about it. Asthma attack. When you have an asthma attack, you can't breathe. When you can't breathe, you can hardly talk. To make a sentence, all you get is the air in your lungs, which isn't much. 3 to 6 words, if that. You learn the value of words. You rummage through the jumble in your head. Choose the crucial ones. Those cost you too. Let healthy people toss out whatever comes to mind, the way you throw out the garbage. When an asthmatic says, I love you, and when an asthmatic says, I love you madly, there's a difference. The difference of a word. A word's a lot. It could be stop or inhaler. It could even be ambulance. I love this passage so much. I don't want to say too much about it, but I think in this moment where in the news all we hear is the dearth of ventilators, the fact that people can't breathe, the fact that this pandemic is attacking our lungs, the fact that so many of the people who are sick are unable to see in their last moments their family. I very much doubt that Etgar Keret had this pandemic or any pandemic in mind, but he had in mind what it costs us to speak, what it costs us to breathe, and what happens when we are asthmatic and every word matters. Every word we say, I love it. It contains everything in just a very small passage. The other passage I want to read to you is a passage by the vitriolic Austrian writer Thomas Bernhard. Etgar Keret is Israeli, Thomas Bernhard is Austrian. And I often think that Bernhard must have drunk Drano in the morning. He is so angry, and I love his anger so much. And this passage, maybe I'll say something about it before. This passage is really about our desire to be with someone and also our desire not to be with someone. Our desire to be alone, and yet when we're alone, we want to be with someone else. How much better could such a passage be than at this precise moment when we are alone and yet so desirous of being with other people? And I often wonder, when this pandemic ends, will we miss our solitude? Here goes Thomas Bernhard. The only friends I have are the dead who have bequeathed their writings to me. I have no others. And I'd always found it hard to have any relationship with another person. I wouldn't think of using such an unappetizing word as friendship, a word which is misused by everybody. And even early in my life, there were times when I had no one. At least I knew that I had no one, though others were always asserting that I did have someone. They said, you do have someone, whereas I knew for certain that I not only had no one, but perhaps what was perhaps the crucial and most annihilating thought, needed no one. I imagined I needed no one, and this is what I still imagine to this day. I needed no one, and so I had no one. But naturally, we do need someone, otherwise we inevitably become what I have become: tiresome, unbearable, sick, impossible in the profoundest sense of the word. Thank you very much.